Okay guys, I'm coming at y'all with a new video this week, and this is gonna be a how to be an MUA for dummies. So I'm gonna be doing this dummy's makeup.
I knew it was coming.
I'm gonna be doing Jasmine's makeup. This is my sister right here. Just want to introduce y'all because y'all might see her again in another video. So I'm gonna be doing her makeup, and I'm gonna be showing you guys everything that I use on some of my clients and how to do certain things with makeup, just to kind of give you guys a general idea of how to be a makeup. How to be a makeup artist. That's what I'm trying to say. Can't talk. But anyway, yes, let's get into this video. Let's beat this face. My face is already beat, so I don't know what she pointing at. But let's get into it. Alright. So I'm just gonna start off by prepping Jasmine's skin by giving it a little bit of extra hydration here. And I'm just gonna be using the MAC Prep and Prime Essential Oils. Zoom in on her face just a little bit. And I'm just gonna be taking just a couple of drops of this. I'm just gonna put that all over her skin. Okay, now I'm gonna be priming her skin using the Becca First Light. That's a little bright. Let's see if I can get it in focus here. Come on. The Becca First Light primer. Come on. And I'm just gonna put a couple pumps, probably about like 2 pumps in my hand. I'm gonna put that all over her face as well. Okay, so next I'm going to be using this Master Camo Camouflage Kit. And I'm just going to be using this orange corrector on Jasmine. And I'm just going to be putting it in all her dark areas, you know, like that lip.
Her throat, her neck, turn around and see the neck.
Alone. And then I'm just going to be putting it on any areas that are dark and that needs to be covered or, you know, hidden and stuff like that. Now I'm just going to be taking a cosmetic sponge and my Fix Plus. And I'm just going to spray the cosmetic sponge with a little bit of that Fix Plus. And I'm just going to blend out her corrector with this. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking this Melanie Mills Hollywood Gleam Body Radiance. And this is Sandra Deluxe's Peach Deluxe shade. And I'm just gonna put that all over her face as well to add some extra luminosity and a nice little glow. Got a glow all day.
I already got a glow.
Okay, now I'm gonna be putting on some foundation onto her face, and I'm gonna use the Anastasia. Let's see if we can get this in focus. The Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation sticks, and I'm gonna be using the shade Amber. Come on, focus. I'm using the shade Amber on Jasmine, and I'm just gonna take this stick and put it all over her face.
Amber on Jasmine. Her name is not Amber.
I promise you, her name is not Amber. And then I'm just gonna take like a nice dense buffing brush, foundation brush, and then I'm just gonna like pat this into her skin first, then buff it in afterwards. And I'm just gonna spray that with some more Fix Plus before I do that. And I'm gonna spray her face as well. Close the mouth, cool. Okay, now I'm just gonna take a little bit of that foundation stick again. I'm just gonna put a little bit extra around her mouth, just because these areas tend to crease a little bit more. It's nothing personal, they just tend to crease a little more, so you gotta add a little extra product. And it'll further conceal some of that darkness around the mouth area, because you know us colored folks, we gotta deal with that, you know.
Excuse me?
contouring Jasmine's face. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick again, and this is in the shade Walnut. And I'm just going to put that in the hollows of her cheekbones, on her forehead, and on her jawline. Okay, and I'm going to take that same foundation brush I just used to put on her foundation, and I'm just going to use that to blend out the contour. Okay, now that I've contoured Jasmine's face, I'm going to be taking the Cover FX, and this is their concealer palette, and I'm just going to be taking the number 1 shade, and I'm going to be taking the MAC Prep and Prime Essential Oils, and I'm just going to be putting a few drops into that just to bring it back to life, you know, just to dry it out just a little bit. And I already applied some oil to this concealer just to give it a little bit of extra moisture and luminosity to her face. And I'm just going to put it in all the areas that are naturally highlighted, like underneath the eyes, on the bridge of the nose, her forehead, her chin, and her cupid's bow area. And I'm just going to put a little bit underneath where we contour here just to clean that contour up further. This is an optional step. I just personally like a sharp contour line. I don't know if Jasmine likes a sharp contour line, but because I'm being her face, she's gonna like it today. But if you personally don't like that for yourself or for your clients, this is optional. Oh, and side note, this highlight is about 3 shades lighter than her, about 4 shades lighter than her natural skin tone. You don't necessarily have to go this light, but I've done her makeup multiple times, and I normally go this light on her because it looks good on her, that type of bright highlight. Now, you might need to tone it down for your client's face because a lot of people don't always like that bright of a highlight. So just make sure you consult with your client before you put a overdone highlight on them or a very bright highlight, because they may or may not like it. It's just to each his own preference. Now I'm just going to take my cosmetic sponge that I used to blend out her contour, and I'm going to take that MAC Fix Plus again, and I'm going to drench this sponge, like drench it in Fix Plus.
Drench.
And I'm just going to squeeze it a little bit to kind of, you know, get the product into the sponge, get it nice and moisturized. And now I'm just going to blend those areas out in which we highlighted. And you're just going to take the sponge and you're just going to pounce, 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 and push it into her skin. Girl, you better.
The sponge?
Yeah.
Oh,
the sponge, yes. How Jasmine's face looks a little ghostly right now. Don't be scared by that. Do not be scared by that, because that is why we have our handy dandy foundation brush once again with that leftover product, as you can see on the top of the brush from when we apply our foundation. This is gonna blend out these harsh edges from where the contour starts and where the highlight begins, and it's gonna make everything blend seamlessly into her face without taking away too much of the highlight, and it's also gonna tone down the highlight where it looks like it is too much. Now I'm just gonna go back into that Cover FX palette a little bit and just take my Beauty Blender sponge, and I'm just gonna, excuse me, Real Technique sponge, let me correct that, and I'm just gonna tap a little bit into that. There we go. And tap a little bit into that concealer again. And I'm just going to put this directly under her eyes again. Look up. And I'm going to blend that out one more time. And I'm going to use the back of the sponge this time. done. Okay. So next I'm gonna take my Laura Mercier setting powder. I'm sure y'all have heard about this on YouTube before. And I'm just gonna take my Beauty Blender sponge, and this is, come on, Real Technique sponge. Good Lord, I gotta stop saying that. Good Lord. And I'm just gonna dip into that, and it is damp. This is important. This is a very important step, to have a damp beauty blender when applying your setting powder. It just like perfectly, yeah girl, for real.
I never knew.
It just perfectly sets the powder into the product without making it look powdery. It makes it look natural. And another important step is something that I learned recently, trial and error with this, but I finally got it down pat. You're gonna take your sponge, and normally people work from the inside out, but I've learned that working from the outside in reduces creasing in the concealer. So you're just gonna take your sponge and gonna work from the inside, from the outside in. You're gonna apply your setting powder to all of your highlighted areas, like I just explained earlier, underneath the eyes, moving outward in. You're gonna apply on the bridge of your nose, on the part of your forehead, the middle of your forehead. You're gonna apply it on your cupid's bow. Also in the areas where you have smile lines, you're gonna pack product, pack setting powder on these areas. If you have bad smile lines, this will save you every single time. Now that she looks all nice and powdery, don't be afraid, because we're gonna knock some of that off. And the way we're gonna do it is with this Ben Nye, and this is a Media Pro HD powder palette. And this has about, how many shades does it have? It has about 8 shades. Come on, focus. Has about 8 different shades, and it's in a good shade variety, I would say, for a few different skin tones. And I use this to set contour, I use it to set under eyes, a bunch of different things. But now I'm just gonna use it to take off this setting powder that I put on Jasmine's face, and to also set the rest of her face that I did not put the setting powder on. And I'm gonna mix these 2 shades together when putting it all over her face. Okay, next I'm going to take that same Ben Nye powder palette, and I'm going to contour, I'm going to set Jasmine's contoured areas with, what shade am I going to use? I'm going to use this shade down here to set Jasmine's contour areas, and also bronze her skin up just a little bit as well. And the technique, I cannot talk, oh my gosh. The technique that I am using for setting the contour areas of Jasmine's face is I'm just taking the brush and I'm just gently pressing it into her face to fit it into the hollows of her cheekbones, so it doesn't get muddy and get around all her whole face. Now when you bronze, it may get around your face a little bit more, but that's just because you want to look like the sun has been hitting your face in the right places, so that's okay. But when you're contouring and you're using a deeper shade, you want it to get directly into the hollows of those cheekbones. And I'm going to take that same shade in a smaller little blending fluff, and I'm going to dip into that, and I'm going to contour that nose. I'm going to snatch that nose right there. Also, a side note, a good way to blend out a nose contour is with a duo fiber. A duo fiber blending brush. This flawlessly and easily blends out the contour on your nose, because you definitely do not want a muddy, sloppy nose contour, because that will jack your
Muddy,
face up.
sloppy.
Like, seriously.